Hello everyone, welcome to another video of IELTS speaking mock test. In this video, I'm going to record mock test number 1 of book 17 IELTS. Okay, so let's start this video. And the part 1, the topic in part 1 is about history. Okay, so let me start. First question is what did you study in history lessons when you were at school? Well, I studied many things in history lessons when I was at school, like the history of our country, how this country was founded by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and what kind of problems he faced when he made his political party. Also about the different empires like Mughal Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the history of my religion, Islam. Okay, so I studied all these things and I really enjoyed studying all these things, and I got knowledge about different historical topics like these ones. Okay, when I was at school. Next one, did you enjoy studying history at school? Why or why not? Yes, actually, I really enjoyed studying history at school because I always had interest in history. Even before going to school, my father and my grandfather, they used to tell me stories of different historical events that has happened in the world. Okay, so I was curious to know more about history and historical events. So when I went to school, and there I found out that we have a particular subject related to history. So I was really happy, and once I studied all these things, I remember most of the events, and I even still tell stories of historical events to my friends and to my family members. Okay, one more thing is that to me, I think we can learn a lot from the historical events. Okay, like what kind of problems people face and how they tackle such problems, how they behaved in difficult circumstances. Okay, so I enjoyed studying all these things. That's why I enjoyed studying history at school. Next one, how often do you watch TV programs about history now? Why or why not? Well, now I do not watch really often the TV programs about history because I do not have much time these days as I'm doing my research work and some other things. So I do not find some time to watch history programs on TV. But whenever I have time, at least I think once or twice in a month, I watch some historical event documentaries on the internet, on YouTube. Like last week, I watched a documentary about the Ottoman Empire, and I learned a lot of things about the Ottoman Empire from this documentary. Okay, so I watch documentaries at least 1 to 2 times in a month, but I do not watch TV programs about history on TV more often these days. Okay, next one. What periods in history would you like to learn more about? Why? Well, in the history, I like to learn more about the great Ottoman Empire. Though I learned a bit and a lot of things, but there are things that I do not know. I want to learn and I want to see how come a small tribe, okay, and they didn't have even their own homes, their own land, and later on they ruled almost half of the world. So how come all these things happen, and who initiated this regime, and how they become this strong? They had regime on almost half of the world. So I like to know about this particular event in the history, and also I want to know more about Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi and his lifespan, because he was involved in the wars with Crusaders, and there he fought, I think, around 1,000 wars. So I like to know about his life and these wars in the history, because I think someone can learn a lot of things, especially how things are going on now in this modern world, what consequences are going on in the world. We can learn all these things if we study this kind of history. So I like to know about these kind of periods, or these two periods in the history I like to know more about. Okay, next one. This is part 2, and the question is, describe the neighborhood you lived in when you were a child. You should say where in your town or city the neighborhood was, what kind of people lived there, what it was like to live in this neighborhood, and explain whether you would like to live in this neighborhood in the future. Well, when I was a child, I used to live in the Kent area in Gujranwala because my father was in army. So there we were living there. Okay, actually this was quite an interesting place to live because all the houses and the buildings they were same, and all the people they were educated people, and all of them they were soldiers. They were serving in Pakistan army. Okay, so there we had a clean environment, and there were so many amenities and facilities were available for us, for the kids, and also for the adults of the family. Like there were a few parks, and there was one really close to my house. There we used to go in the evening almost all the time. Okay, and there were some swings in the park, some playground. The one was really close to my house where I used to go and play cricket every day in the evening. And the people lived there, they were really good ones because all of them they were educated people. They had good ethical values. They liked to help each other, and they were all serving in Pakistan army. Okay. In this neighborhood, the living experience was really good because no one was bothering anyone, and we had all the facilities that someone would need in his life, like shopping, education, clean water, and other facilities. We had everything. That's the sewerage system was very awesome because it was a Kent area, and everything was very neat and clean. And if I have chance in the future, yes, of course, I would like to live in this neighborhood because in such kind of environment, you don't have to teach the children the good ethical values, the good moral values, because of course everyone has talking sense, everyone has behaving sense in such kind of neighborhoods. Okay, so one has not to worry about anything while living here. And one other factor, especially living in my country, is that it is safe to live there. So there were no burglars or no pickpockets you have to worry about. So it was very safe, clean, and a beautiful area to live. Okay, so next one, part 3, and this is discussion topics. The first topic is neighbors. Okay, related to part 2. First question: what sort of things can neighbors do to help each other? Well, there could be different kind of things that neighbors can do to help each other. For example, they can offer parking place to someone. They can provide a quiet environment so their neighbors are not bothered because of or noise and other things. Maybe they should not play louder music at night. Okay, and also they can offer some vehicle in case of emergency or in case of no emergency also. And furthermore, I guess they can give some financial support if their neighbor needs. And in our culture, it is very common if there are some guests in the neighborhood and they do not have proper place for them to stay, so the neighbors can offer their place or their living rooms for the guests of their neighbors. I think these kind of things neighbors can do to help each other. Okay, next. How well do people generally know their neighbors in your country? Well, in my country, normally people they know their neighbors very well because our country is not a country where people are not attached with each other. In my country, people are really close with each other, especially with their neighbors. So they know who is living next door to them. They normally have very good relations with them. They like to share their happy events with their neighbors. Like they invite them on birthday parties, on wedding parties, and sometimes they just invite them for dinner and for lunch. And in my country, people also like to spend their evening time with their neighbors instead of only with their families. Okay, so that's why people normally know really well their neighbors in my country, and it has lots of advantages because the neighbors are the first person who are there to help you in case of emergency or in any case. Okay, so once in my country, like in my country, people, they have really good relationship with their neighbors. So the neighbors are willing to help each other. They are willing to cooperate with each other in every circumstance. So I think it has lots of advantages, and in my country, people know their neighbors very well. Next question. How important do you think it is to have good neighbors? Well, in my opinion, it is very important to have good neighbors, because neighbors are the persons who live with you and who you see them quite often in your life. So if they are not good neighbors, then they might be creating lots of problems for you. For example, they might be throwing garbage in front of your house or near to your house, or they might be playing loud music at night. They might be, taking your parking space, or maybe creating some other issues for you. Or in case if you need some help, they're not willing to help you or to offer any help to you. So because of this, you will face lots of problems, lots of issues. So overall, I think the life would not be quiet and smooth running. So if the neighbors are good, I think it affects on your life also, and it is very important. Okay, next topic is facilities in the cities. Which facilities are most important to people living in cities? Well, according to me, I think all kind of facilities are really important for the people living in the cities, but the most important ones are education, shopping, transportation. I think these are the most important ones. For example, why people move to the cities? They want to have all these facilities in their lives. Like normally the parents, they move to the cities because they want the best education system for their kids. If they are not getting this in the cities, then I guess for them it is useless. Secondly, transportation. Normally to go to the countryside at night, especially the people who are working overtime or their work finished after evening, so it is really difficult for them to travel to the countryside every day. So they need good transportation facilities within the cities, so they can live in the cities and they can go anywhere whenever they want to, or at whatever time they want to. Third is shopping facilities. The fourth is also health facilities is very important. Third, shopping facilities. Normally, people, they want to buy so many things in their lives, the daily life things, clothing, shoes, grocery, and all these things. So these facilities, if they don't have in the cities, then they'll have lots of problems, like they have to travel. And someone might think that why we have come to cities if we have, for example, we have to travel 25 kilometers to just buy vegetable. I guess shopping facilities are really important. And the fourth one is health facilities. In case of a health emergency, the best thing they are looking for is the nearest hospital where they can take their loved ones to save their lives. And in some cases, it is really vital. So these four kind of facilities, I think, are the most important for the people living in the cities. Next one. How does shopping in small local shops differ from shopping in large city center shops? Well, I think it is, to some extent, it is different, because in the large city center shops or the shopping malls, the prices are fixed and everything is in order. Like this section you can find vegetables, at this section you can find clothing, in this section you can find shoes, in this sector you can find for example some grocery items or whatever. Okay, so sorry, all the things are in order, and you don't have to bargain about the price with the shopkeeper in the big shopping centers, in the malls, since the price is fixed one and all the tags are in front of you, so you can see and pick up whatever you want to pick. But this is not the case in the small shopping centers or in the small shops, because there normally you cannot find all the things, but in the big shopping centers you can find. And second thing is, the prices are not fixed. So if you're not familiar with the prices, the shopkeeper or the person might want to overcharge you, or might want to take more money from you Okay, and maybe you cannot find all the things in order. If you want to buy something, you have to be worried about the price. So in advance you ask the price from the shopkeeper and then you buy it. So it's a totally different experience. I think it is not really comfortable. But if you're buying things from a shopping center or a mall, there it is more convenient, more comfortable. All the things are in order. You simply get your trolley, put all your things required in the trolley and pay the bill and come back. But here in this case, maybe you need to bargain with the shopkeeper. Okay, and maybe it is difficult to find all the things in small shops. Okay, so I think it is difficult than shopping in the big shopping centers or in the malls. Okay, next one. Do you think that children should always go to school nearest to where they live? Well, in my opinion, it is not really necessary. I think the quality of education and schooling is more important than the school is near to their house or not. If they are getting quality education and the school is far away from their house, does not matter as long as they have good transportation facilities near to their house or someone is there to pick and drop them to the schools. But in case if they don't go to the farthest school and they prefer to study in the nearest school and the quality is not good there, the education quality I mean, so in this case they might not learn in a proper way, so they might not build their proper base that they need in their later life. I think so, having quality education is more important than going to the nearest school. It is manageable, especially in this modern era where we have lots of transportation facilities and other facilities, like most of the people, they have their own vehicle or own cars, so they can pick and drop to the children in this modern era. So I think they should focus on the quality of the education instead of finding a school which is near to their house. Okay, so that's all. This was the test number 1 of IELTS Cambridge book number 17. In the next video, I'll record about the mock test from book number 16. Okay, I hope you learned something from these videos. Keep watching and subscribe to my channel if you want to, or if you like my videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care of yourself and your families. Bye bye.